back to the old days.
Having to do this manually, Stephen. A fucking nightmare.
Back in the game. Welcome in, folks, to Monday night's entertainment news here at AMB. Yes, we are back, and we are back with a bang. Live and interactive for the first time in 2 weeks. John, I am one of your co-hosts, Stephen John McLaughlin. As I just mentioned, John C. Walsh, the gentleman to my right, your left, who is the man with the finger on the pulse and has had his finger on the pulse over the last 5 days. Try to edit the shit out of our watch-alongs, which we will talk about very lately, briefly. What hell happened there? I panicked. It just went all dark.
Yeah, the cables just stopped working.
Yeah.
It's just stopped working.
Wow.
On the other monitor.
We are live, I think. We're still live, I hope.
Yeah, we're still live, yeah.
And we're going to be talking about, we've got one topic tonight.
Got one monitor
now. We will be talking about another topic in a brief moment as well, which I'm going to clip and then put it out for our community, John, at a reasonable time, because they'll not see this at this time of night. So, what we're talking
I hope you can read it off of there, Stephen, because for some reason that monitor has just fucking disappeared.
Okay. That's okay. I've got it. The backups
wonderful.
Here. It's always good to have a plan B. There you are.
I've been building a PC.
Yeah.
Built it yesterday.
But that's got nothing to do with what we'll talk about later on.
No, it's got nothing. No, because it's just a continual fucking struggle.
But anyway,
because I re-edited it after I built the PC.
We're going to talk about Star Wars first and foremost. We're going to talk about an old tradition that's been brought back, that obviously the Disney Spinoffs dropped on film and on web series as well on Disney Plus. And it is about the opening crawl. It's coming back, John. Apparently, ScreenRant.com.
No idea what's going on here.
This is coming in from ScreenRant, and yeah,
I have no idea what is going on here.
On the Daggerwood Dispatch podcast, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy confirmed that all upcoming Star Wars movies will feature an opening crawl. Rogue One, Disney's second Star Wars film, did not have an opening crawl. Solo did have one, but not in the same style as the main Star Wars movies. It could have been assumed that only Charmin Obaid Chinoy's new Jedi Order movie, which is perhaps the closest thing to Star Wars 10, would have a classic opening crawl. However, Kennedy now confirms that James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi film and Dave Filoni's The Mandalorian movie will have an opening crawl too. John, you talked about it just before we came on in terms of Rogue One. The only negative of otherwise an exceptionally great Star Wars film, probably the best from Disney so far, had a shocking title sequence, didn't it, and that horrible music as well. I think YouTuber Christian Harloff said you could have done that on, what's that app called again, for the studio thing, on your iMovie or something. iMovie. You could have done that on an iMovie app.
You could have.
It was that bad, and it was. I hated the music as well, John.
Yeah, Steve.
It's good to have it back, though, isn't it?
But Steve, a wondrous movie. Rogue One has to be said. That aside, they did save the movie thereafter, thanks to the help of Tony Gilroy coming in and basically changing the whole tone of the movie, killing everyone off. Just making it a darker experience, which is exactly what it should have been. You look at the opening crawl there, delivered their first victory against the evil Galactic Empire. During the battle, rebel spies managed to steal the secret plans to the Emperor's ultimate weapon. You cannot get your hands on those plans to the ultimate weapon and survive. You can't fucking do it. It would make no sense. Where were these characters in this movie? I am extremely concerned about these skip frames due to encoding lag. I don't know what the fuck's going on here.
John, you might be a bit more concerned about our headline as well.
Is it?
It's James Gunn.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean,
shouldn't be.
For anyone that doesn't know, John has had to upgrade his PC, which means that
we're not using that PC though.
There's a lot of things happening at the moment. It's strange.
Fucking monitor's dying as well. What is going on?
Everything seems to be going against us.
What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go. I'll just go to this.
Over the world.
We'll go to this and we'll remove. Oh my lord!
They're making a mug of us as humans.
This is a nightmare.
So
we're losing all monitors here.
But you're absolutely right in terms of Rogue One. I thought in terms of the story and its conclusion, it was the perfect film in terms of a spin-off of the main films. And I get what Disney and Lucasfilm were trying to do with a Star Wars story type films. It lasted 2 stories, and then they moved on from it. They went, we're not doing this anymore. Solo didn't perform well. I thought it was an okay film, but it came off the back of The Last Jedi, which a lot of people were browned off with. A terrible scheduling time as well. I think going back to the May schedule, you're only talking 5 months after the backlash of The Last Jedi, and they blamed Solo for let's not do any more Star Wars stories, which I thought was wrong. I thought they should have continued doing it that way. And I get they were trying to obviously sort of make it different from the saga films. I get that they were trying to make the style different and all that kind of thing, but it's what people are used to. It's what people expect as well from a Star Wars
film.
It's a
favourite what they wanted, Stephen. This should be updated now. I forgot to change and restream.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I'm
it's
blaming machines for it, John.
I don't think it'll update, sadly, on the actual Twitch side. It may. Bear with me, I'll actually try and do my best to...
It seems to be okay, John.
I'll do my best to save it over on Twitch.
Anyway. But, yeah.
Leave, yes. Leave.
Yeah.
Fuck up.
I think I've exhausted my conversation here, John. I can't repeat myself.
Well, I mean, I'll try my best to now interject and give something. Stephen, as you were saying, very shocking. Before the monitors decided to fucking go, I think it's because they're pressed up. I mean, I've got two monitors, two huge towers sitting together. I'm trying to migrate things from one PC to the other at the moment, and it's a fucking nightmare because the external hard drive I'm using is just acting the CUNT at every possible moment. So it's just make my life hell. I've tried to bring the settings over to OBS. Didn't work. I did everything they says you're supposed to do. You go into the roaming data folder, copy it, boom, in. It'll all be there. Well, it wasn't. Just like George Martin says, well, it wasn't. Magic Alex did not deliver a 24 fucking whatever it was studio, and OBS did not deliver our settings. But I digress. That aside, before you had a breakdown with that, you says it was a shocking start to Rogue One, and it was, Stephen, and it started right with that lack of the opening crawl. If it's a Star Wars movie, it has to have an opening crawl. We spoke about it at the time, back in those ghastly audio podcast days, when we were speaking like demented fucking Stephen Hawking wannabes. Ghastly days, where I sounded depressed. I sounded as though I was ready to talk myself. And I should have been really happy. I was doing something I enjoy doing, speaking, and about films no less. But we spoke about it. The monitor's away. Hopefully I'm still here. I don't know. Hopefully I'm still here. Are we still here?
Yeah,
I think we are.
Yeah.
We're over there now, though.
Yeah.
Stephen, you should always have an opening crawl. You should always have an opening crawl in a Star Wars movie. It bemused me why they even decided to get rid of them in the first place. We spoke about it before we come on, as you did say, and you rightly says it was to create some sort of distinction between the main plot, the Skywalker saga, and the spin-off movies. But it's a nonsense. Star Wars, at its very core, starts with an opening crawl, and all the goodness comes from that. If you don't have it, you're up against it right away.
Yeah.
And you look at the spin-off movies, Solo, Rogue One, what was the other one? There was another one, wasn't there?
No.
Was there another one? Is that it?
Yeah, there was only
well,
two,
the other one was fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
Pretty much horrendous. At
a
couple of decent ones, but it was
Yeah.
horrendous. Rogue One was the only one that kind of saved itself from a lack of opening crawl. It's the right decision to go back.
I think, given two examples from my personal experience for me was back in '99, getting into that theatre for The Phantom Menace, the first Star Wars film in 16 years at this point, and not knowing that we were going to get another Star Wars film after Return of the Jedi, and you know, just sit and watch it. The Fox fanfare comes on, 20th Century Fox at the time, obviously. And then it goes quiet.
Even this is not updated.
Listen, Chris Pratt is always got to get an act, John. But getting back to that fanfare and the build up, obviously, to the John Williams theme, the Lucasfilm logo shimmering across the screen, and then just bursts to life. That to me is what Star Wars is all about. It's just as important as anything in the middle bit, the story, is the opening crawl and the opening theme, John. It's incredible, and it was the same when we went to see The Force Awakens in 2015. Everyone's sitting in that theatre silent, waiting for that music to burst into life.
It's one of the best moments, Stephen, when it's
and then the Star Wars logo, it feels like Star Wars logo's coming from behind you and then goes right in front of your eyes like that.
My favourite moment is when the camera pans down though from the crawl onto a planet or onto some sort of ship. That is what makes Star Wars. It's unique selling point in the 70s and the 80s. Lucas got into a lot of trouble for it.
Yeah.
He was getting sued, getting removed from, I think, the Guild of Diarrhea. I don't know what the fucking SAG is it, the Screen Act.
I think it was the union,
the union of the sort of directors union. They removed him because he wasn't fucking hell putting the credits at the start. He put a screen crawl. The man fought tooth and nail. He fought the law and the law won. Well, he won. And for you to take that away, you're losing something palpable from a Star Wars movie. That is, as you said, Stephen, one of the best moments. You go in, you've got the Star Wars theme exploding in your ears. You've got that crawl come down, giving you a sense of what you're getting yourself into. Because you need to remember, before this comes out, this isn't other movies. Most times it doesn't get spoiled. So your first sort of point of contact with this movie, what it entails in the story, is that opening crawl. If you've not got that, you're going in fucking blind.
Yeah, as well, John, you've got to remember that they kind of boxed themselves in with the two subject matters for those two standalone films as well. That it's pretty tough to write an opening crawl to Rogue One, which was based on an opening crawl paragraph. And the same with Solo. How do you do that? How do you make an opening crawl with that as well? I get that, but...
Where did he get his name? From an Imperial fucking receptionist.
Terrible. Another terrible
you're
decision.
On your own. So...
Yeah. Shocking. But
not as bad as Nick Fury getting scratched with a cat, though.
No, not as bad, John, but it's not too great either.
No, but I'm delighted it's come back, Stephen. I'm delighted I've seen sense. They realise that Star Wars movies should be special. It should be an event. And that starts from the very start of someone sitting in a theatre, eating their popcorn and watching that screen crawl coming down. That is a huge part of the Star Wars experience. It should be an event. And if you remove that, you're removing the heart and soul right from the start from the movie. The movie is up against it, and it needs to really be strong. Rogue One, thankfully, was strong. It was a strong movie, despite no John Williams, despite no opening crawl. But if you start with a good opening crawl, you've got people sitting there, and you've got competency, if that's a word, at Lucasfilm, people being hired to do the correct jobs, directing, writing, acting. Magic will ensue.
John,
and she's seen sense, Stephen Kennedy.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
3 to 4 years, 45 years.
Sense, so John, in terms of people just didn't like it, so I better do something that they do like for a change, and start listening to what people like in Star Wars. But I think the decision at the time was based on, let's do something bold and let's do something different. Let's be brave on this decision. When in fact they didn't do that with the sequel trilogy. They weren't brave enough to bring in Rian Johnson for 3 films, which I would have done. I'm not saying I'm a big Rian Johnson fanatic or anything like that, John.
Yeah.
But bringing him into the middle part of the story. When that guy's get previous for making great standalone independent films, you don't bring him into the middle of a story. It's already, you've got a sort of beginning, and you've not even got the end yet. It doesn't make any sense. If you bring in the one director, and I'll tell you something right now, I would have Rian Johnson doing those 3 sequel films before I would have J.J. Abrams doing those 3 sequel films, because he does not know how to finish a story.
Yeah.
But again, that's off on a tangent, John. In terms of obviously the sequel trilogy, I don't think they were brave enough with certain decisions, but they felt they were brave enough to make decisions on the standalone films, the Star Wars story films, with changing the opening crawls. If that was brave, it wasn't. It was just a stupid thing to do.
It was. Monitors away again. What the fuck? What's going on with these monitors?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's how I'm just
Almighty.
bringing this up, John. This mini monitor.
It is brutal. I mean, is it present? It shouldn't be. Steve, I don't know if you want to do us a favour here while I perhaps chat shit and come out to that point. See if I just pull this monitor out. See if you just pull that tower just a tiny bit forward. See the actual tower there?
Yes.
See, if you pull that forward, if you can grip that and pull that forward just a tiny bit. Yeah, that may do it. Hopefully. It may be pressing against the actual walls. I'm just trying to fit 2 things on a very small space.
Wherever I was about to say wherever the amateurs.
Yes, well, we are over the amateurs, to be fair, Stephen.
John, we were talking about the other
day. We watched our very first live stream.
We were talking about obviously how we used to
it was a nightmare. We used to sit our mics up on fucking boxes and books. It was crazy. Just going by a fucking table.
Yeah, you didn't see that at the time.
And what ensued was us zooming in like this. I was basically like this.
Yeah.
That's how close I was to the fucking camera.
Yeah.
It was dreadful. We were looking at that. Compared to now, back then we were amateurs. Now we look like full-blown professionals. I was going to say we look like Philip Schofield, but we don't. And we don't want to speak about him. Fucking prick. But I digress.
Yes, please do.
He was a prick. Anyway, Yeah, Stephen, I was so glad to get the opening crawl.
John, but I get going back to the opening crawl in Disney Plus. I don't really want to see the opening crawl in a TV series.
There's
not enough time for that.
It's movies.
You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, probably Andor was longer. The theme to Andor and the opening sequences to Andor was probably longer than any Star Wars film.
Stephen, see, to be fair, we were tanning that watching Andor, slagging it off left, right and centre. This is too long, it's ridiculous.
That was a good theme.
But it was actually really intelligent the way they did it. Yeah. Every single episode had a little part of the Andor theme, and if you play them all back to back to back, it makes the theme.
Yeah.
So it was actually really intelligent the way they did it. So, but at the time watching it, we were like, this is just like this show in a microcosm. The first 3 episodes, it's so fucking slow.
Yeah.
What are they doing? But it got better and better and better and better, and I even got to appreciate the intro. But no, Steve, this has to be reserved for movies. The movies, thankfully, Kennedy has seen sense. Finally. I read an article, I think it was about 2 weeks back. She was speaking about the spacing between Star Wars movies, and she says it's not an IP that has the sort of legs of, say, Marvel in a calendar year. You can't release 1, 2, 3 movies in a year and make it sustainable.
Yeah.
It's the type of IP that should be released 3 to 4 years, 4 to 5 years.
It's anticipation, John.
The anticipation builds. It gives them a chance to deliver.
That's what I was talking about
excellent.
earlier about, you know, that opening crawl coming in 1999. 16-year wait to hear that infamous tune once again. And then, obviously, how many years was it? 2015, 2000, 10 years between Revenge of the Sith and The Force Awakens.
I'm talking about
again.
The opening crawl. The movie's magic starts with the crawl. If you've not got that, you lose something palpable and you're up against it. You think of the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. They've got the opening crawls. Do they gain anything from having an opening crawl? They're distinctly average in large parts. They've got some fucking great moments.
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson's in there. You've got Tamura Morrison in there. You've got Ewan McGregor in there, Ian McDiarmid in there. You've got some amazing worlds getting visited, but the CGI and the
I was
dialogue,
always here, Obi-Wan.
You've got fucking Qui-Gon as well. You've got your man Liam Neeson. You've got a particular set of skills. I was trained by a Jedi Master. You've got a butcher in it. They've got moments, but they've got crawls and they're nowhere near the original movies. So I think at what point do you just throw the fucking towel in and say, those original movies are Star Wars, they are the way it should be done, they are of their time, they can't be replicated, they won't be replicated, the magic is gone from Star Wars movies.
Yeah, gone.
At what point do you just resign yourself to that and admit it? You're never going to top The Empire Strikes Back or A New Hope. It just ain't going to happen. We see it about other movies from that era. They can't top Indiana Jones. James Mangold's going to try it this year. I hope he fucking succeeds. I don't think they will though.
No.
You can't top Blade Runner. You can't top Robocop. Has it started to come in?
Yeah.
Oh God,
that's
maybe concerning.
Maybe that can be your show tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll probably speak about that. That's concerning.
I think it is.
Rotten Tomato. The critics are getting after it.
50%.
They're usually hyper positive.
Yeah. I think I'll have to just wait and see. I mean, I think
saying
a lot
that
of people
movies they hate, we usually like.
Well, so. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know, and John, we talked about the sort of spin-off series on Disney Plus for Star Wars. I think it was maybe one of our last live shows we did, and I think both of us felt that, is there an appetite for movies still? I get obviously the Mandalorian film ties in with the web series, and maybe that's the best way to do the films now, is base them on the web series. Do a couple of seasons of a web series of an interesting character, and then do a film based on that. And I think that's the way now. I don't.
This is the way.
Yeah. Pardon the pun, but you know, I couldn't imagine the Mandalorian having the Star Wars theme, the opening crawl and stuff. I loved it, and the Mandalorian theme. I loved the Book of Boba Fett theme as well. I thought it was a good theme. And as you said, Andor was a good one as well.
That's another question to be asked about future Star Wars movies. Do we settle for one all-seeing, all-hearing, omnipotent composer like we had with John Williams for the best part of 30-40 years, or do we sort of ad hoc other composers in? Because obviously Giacchino was earmarked as the heir apparent to John Williams.
Yeah,
it's not really worked out that way, although I actually did enjoy his score in Rogue One. Your father would be proud, one of the best musical moments.
2 weeks or something like
2 weeks, he had no time. He was flung under the fucking bus. Would you like to see someone coming in and maybe sort of spearheading all of the scores for future Star Wars movies?
I think
so you've got a sort of centralised vibe. Because when you think of John Williams, you hear the London Philharmonic or Symphonic or whatever it is, Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah.
You can. I can't even speak. I'm getting that excited about John Williams. I'm actually stroking the fuck out. You can feel, you can sense. That's what I was wanting to say.
Yes.
That it's his works.
Yeah.
You can just tell by the instruments. You can tell by the way the violins are used. It's a John Williams score.
Originally, I thought, no, I'd like to see different composers coming in to sort of put their mark on different themes and different tones and different time periods through Star Wars, but learning from obviously those standalone films, it's not such a good idea, because Star Wars, big part of Star Wars is the orchestral music throughout, and John Williams made his mark on that, so much so that the Obi-Wan series had that Star Wars feel. Obviously Ewan McGregor's in there, and obviously the other people from the prequel trilogy, but having that John Williams stamp on it,
you can tell it's his movie.
It feels like a Star Wars.
You listen to Home Alone right away, that's John Williams.
Yeah.
Superman, John Williams.
E.T.,
John Williams. Indiana Jones, it's John Williams.
Jurassic Park,
it's John Williams. You just feel the music when that man's involved. How much of that is down to his absolute maestro brilliance, one of a kind composing, or how much of it's down to what he gets out of those talented musicians.
I would love to see Alan Silvestri coming in.
Another great choice, Stephen. But is he getting on? Is he what? How?
John, he was very young when he did Back to the Future. He was in his 30s.
Fucking hell! So he's only about
probably in his 60s.
60s. So he's got a little bit of time left.
Yeah. I mean, he probably is one of the older ones now. But I'd love to see him try doing a trilogy, a Star Wars trilogy.
It's just because I was thinking when you mentioned The Mandalorian, you spoke about the great themes. I was thinking of Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah.
He's an outstanding composer. Yeah. He's worked with Christopher Nolan. He's worked with fucking all sorts of brilliant talents in Hollywood and beyond. I think he's Swedish. He's just got an incredible touch, similar to Williams, at delivering memorable themes.
Who was
brilliant
it
music.
The Dune?
I think that was that Zimmer?
Was it Zimmer?
Was it? I think he ditched Nolan to do Dune, didn't he?
I think that's what it was.
I think he ditched Nolan for Tenet, and he went to Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah, well, Nolan's sticking with him now. Obviously for Oppenheimer. I mean, I'm not sure, John.
I'll can't find remember, that out. I will find that out right now. I'm pretty sure it was Zimmer, though.
I think that's he chose that over
Tenet,
yeah.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Was it? Am I talking shit?
I think you're right. But again, John, another great composer I would like to see doing some Star Wars stuff.
Yes, Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer.
An outstanding composer in his own right, so much so that his sort of temp tracks get used as the industry standard for action movies.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Well, now you do. Just about imparting wisdom tonight and stroking the fuck out, trying to say
watch
feel
watch
and
the
sense.
Movie burners. There's always an
burners.
education here. Yeah.
Yes. Stephen, look, come what may, I'm really happy to see Opening Crawls back. I'm not incredibly happy to see Star Wars films back under Disney, period. I'm yet to be convinced that they know how to handle Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because if that sequel trilogy is anything to go by, they certainly don't. And if they'd let Gareth Edwards go ahead with his version of Rogue One, it would have been a disaster. Tony Gilroy saved it. He came in, and I think he's working on Andor as well. Maybe they should just get Tony Gilroy to spearhead Lucasfilm and Star Wars. He ain't a Star Wars fan, he's admitted it.
But sometimes that's
clear-headed.
That's exactly what you need, someone with a clear head. It's not going to go be a yes person. John, you were talking about the yes person the other day. The producer from the prequels. And
because again, we were talking about the shows and how I had to have a fucking logo for everything.
Yeah.
A logo for reactions, a logo for watch-alongs, and I says, obviously to Stephen, what was I thinking? You don't need a logo for fucking everything.
John,
and Stephen says he just agreed with me all the time. I'm like, no, you can't be that guy.
No. What I said was, I either was going to be the Rick McCallum and then just go, yeah, dude, or I was going to be as guilty as you thinking it was a good idea, because when you did put it up, I thought, yeah, it's a good idea. And then when we look back, I went, nah, it wasn't a good idea.
Blow my trumpet. The logos were fine, but it's just too much.
It was too more the wording.
You had to check the first reactions logo. Movie Burner News logo. Or reaction.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. Horrendous.
Well, idiots.
No, it was me. I created that, Steve.
I agreed with
That's what it was,
I went, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's have logos. Let's have more logos. Let's have logos for logos. Yeah. Didn't know what we were doing.
But I don't know where we were there. I've lost the fucking plot.
We were talking about the composers, weren't we?
Composers, yeah. But I think don't know if I'd moved on. I've no idea. Needless to say, look, really happy to see the opening crawl back. I'm not. That was what it was. Not entirely sure they know what they're doing in terms of films. But time will tell. Hopefully Taika gets it right. Hopefully he produces a great Star Wars movie, because fuck knows, he needs it for his career more than probably we do as Star Wars fans. And hopefully they stay true to what they were saying, and they keep big gaps between the movies. Because look, I wasn't around for the original trilogy. I wasn't here. Sadly, I wish I was, but then I'd be older now. So I'm conflicted. I got to watch them in the 90s as a kid, and it was fine. I didn't have to wait. But I was here for the prequels.
It
was fucking good having the gap.
Hi Biffer. Is your name upside down or something?
It is, yeah. It definitely is, yeah.
I don't want to top my head and read that. I don't know.
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit.
Steve, you should be able to read that. I think the human brain can actually read
things.
Yeah, I can
read it now, yeah. Now you've said that, I can read it.
And backwards, no less.
Yeah.
Biffer the Hobbit,
I need my glasses, I think
Biffer Bomber. God, I'm blanking all the other names. Foreign, Oakenshield, Biffer Bomber. Fuck! I should know them. Huge Tolkien fan. Totally unacceptable.
Right, okay.
That's another subject, Steve, we need to speak about at some point.
Yeah?
They're rebooting the fucking Lord of the Rings movies, potentially.
No.
Potentially. I think they are.
Yeah, well, we'll get some content for that, and we can talk about that maybe next week, John, if we get enough material on it. I'm going to do a bit of a long pause now.
So and I'm just going to switch us off and go to this.
So we can do a little chat now, out with obviously entertainment news. And yeah, folks, this is just to sort of address a situation that's obviously came up over the last 4 days, since last Friday. As this goes out, this is us recording live on Monday night. As you know, we did put a message out on Saturday afternoon in regards to some of the issues we've had with YouTube, with buffering, and of course with copyright.
It was Z5 to be fair with the buffering.
Yeah, but I'm going to pass it over to John, because I felt, I'm kind of trying to explain this on the community tab. It would be easier if John would go on the community tab and explain this, because he can explain it all.
I'm replying to people.
Because you are, John, and you're replying a lot better than I am. I'm very vague, because when it comes to the technical aspects of the editing of the show, this all lies in John's... A feather just fell down there. Wow, a white feather just fell down. What does it mean? Well, it's not from YouTube anyway, because those guys will not give us a lick of their shit, never mind a white feather. But that was...
There's a muff.
That was concerning. I don't think they shed
no,
feathers.
No, they don't shed feathers.
But John, yeah, I mean, you're probably better explaining this one in terms of the last few days and what you've been going through with obviously editing, and
then building a PC in between, and then editing again before I went to my work today.
Only to be told an hour later, blocked again.
It was checking. It was 92%. I was replying to someone, when's it coming? Pray for us. It's checking. It's looking good. And then the email came in.
John,
it's been blocked.
It was checking. I had Patreon open. I'm getting it on Patreon right away, so it gives it that breathing space for the...
I was replying and the email came in before I could send it.
Yeah.
Blocked. I'm like, fucking Christ. And I just deleted it all, like that fucking reply that your man Naveen does in pictures.
Dear sir.
Yeah, he's like replying to, I think, his boss, and he just deletes it.
Yeah.
Then he gets a call from a colleague. It was like that. I just deleted it and says, it's been blocked again. Brilliant. I was going to ask you to pray for us, but it didn't fucking work. Clearly, I am a heathen, and God, if he exists, wants nothing to fucking do with me. No, Stephen, it's been a nightmare. Third episode, the jury room. I've been in a permanent fucking jury room trying to get this seriously out. Initially, recording it, I says to you, and I left it in the recording, this is going to be a fucking nightmare to edit. Because it was buffering on Z5.
Yep.
I don't know what the fuck it is with Z5. I don't know if they're trying to force you onto premium. If it's any better on premium, maybe it is. I have my doubts. The video was buffering every 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 2 minutes. It was all over the place, but it was buffering. And then I also had to capture the episode, and it was buffering again, but at different points. So right off the bat, I've had to edit that together. It was a fucking nightmare. Aligning the tracks, aligning the audio, getting all the buffering out of the way, bringing it all into a cohesive package to actually start editing it. I then edit it, it gets blocked. I go back in and re-edit it. I think this is Friday night.
Yeah.
Get blocked again. I re-edit it again, it goes out at 10 to 4 in the morning. Get blocked again.
I think, John, probably by the 15th or 16th comment in the community, I thought I better put some notice out just to let everyone know that the reason, because there is,
and it's holding up class as well, because I've captured
that's
class.
the thing I was going to say, John. A lot
and
of people
I feel it's moving on to fucking class because it will go out.
Yeah, it's a shame because if it affects one thing, then you've got a backlog. And the fact is that normally we would be recording a reaction right after we do a live show on a Monday night. We can't even do that just now because there's so much to edit.
It's free still to do.
Yeah, we've got 3 plus obviously classes to go out as well. So, and everything has to go on Patreon before it goes on YouTube as well. So there's always going to be that delay, unfortunately. And I think,
and then to compound it, I've also spent fucking money on a new PC. I bought a PC for the first time. I dedicated pretty much
John,
an entire day yesterday to that, so that held it up again.
Someone mentioned in the comments as well, do you know the timestamp? We do kind of know the timestamp.
Yeah, but it means nothing.
It doesn't mean anything because once you get to that bit where you can actually clip that out, it takes
just
you
clips
to
the whole fucking
it says from the 2nd minute to the 35th minute, and that's the whole episode. We don't know, and it'll not say who's claiming it either, which sometimes it helps.
I think it's TVF that are claiming it.
I think it may
which is another bone of contention, because when we started reacting to the viral fever stuff, people says in the community, oh, they're great now, they don't block, they don't claim anything. If you edit the video, you're good to go.
Some
they've
said,
fucking claimed this one.
Some said in the comments, John, that you could actually put out the whole thing and that they wouldn't mind. Well, they're not. They do
think
mind.
It's maybe because it's Z5 though.
It could be,
it's
John.
through that sort of third party.
It could be.
Whereas the previous ones were through Netflix, I think. Quota Factory, and they don't really give a fuck, Netflix, if you do a job on it.
It was through Prime.
And obviously the other ones were through their YouTube channel.
Yeah, Ray Stevenson, I saw
that. Oh,
has
he passed away?
Yeah, he died, John.
Oh, right, fucking hell.
I saw that earlier, yeah.
Christ almighty, that's fucking sad.
Triple R.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, Ray.
I would do the Latin, but I never get it right. Requisite and pass.
I always get that wrong, John.
Yeah, something like that anyway.
Yeah, shocking.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Sad to hear. But it's been a fucking nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Try to get this out. I edited it again today before I went to my work, and it get blocked again. We're now down to, I think the reaction's about 31 minutes long, and it was a 43-minute long episode.
Shows you how much.
So there's 13 minutes been took off, and that's not just one bit, it's cut all the way through. I may actually take a screen grab of the timeline.
And you're including our intro and our outro, which lasts 5 minutes.
Oh, no, that's not. That's on top of that. It's like 38 minutes or something.
That's not too bad.
But it's cut within an inch of its life. I may take a screen grab of the timeline and put it on the community tab just to show how many fucking cuts are in this episode. Yeah. Maybe people will have an appreciation.
I think they do,
how
John.
Fucking hard it is to edit.
I'll tell you something. Our community's actually been really good over the last few days. I know that a lot of people are waiting on it. I get that.
Yeah.
And they've said, I think one of the cases has been on a bender this weekend.
I had one whiskey.
which I'll have to.
Whiskey.
I had a glass of wine and a beer with my Indian meal actually that I had yesterday. And
I had a half of Scotch whiskey.
Yeah.
And then I had
the football.
Yep. And then
Matthews.
a Jimmy. Yep.
Yeah.
Then a Jimmy style.
Yeah, Jimmy style. Yeah.
So it was a good fucking day.
Yeah.
It really was. Yeah, that was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But certainly no benders here. Certainly not.
I'd love to go on a bender.
Yeah.
I'd love to relive my 20s when I was going on benders every weekend. Fucking can't walk on the vodka. I wish I could get back to those days. They were simpler times. I didn't have a dog. I love my dog, but fuck me, they were simpler times. Yeah. I could just get fucking steaming.
Doing that now, John, it'd be like Brad Pitt and Once
No, I mean,
Hollywood, taking his dog for a walk.
I did have that period as well. It was very, very good.
Yeah.
I remember when the dog was young, I'd take him out, absolutely steaming on vodka, slurring my words, couldn't even speak. People were asking me, oh, he's a lovely dog, what kind of dog is he? He's a Labrador. Fucking out my mind. I was like Cliff Booth from fucking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I did have my steaming days. My steamer days went into having a dog as well. But sadly I grew up, and growing up shite.
Yeah.
So don't grow up, folks. Peter Pan was right.
But John, I mean, you have to say this. I can't say when it'll go out or when we hope it'll go out. But you can only do your best. That's all you can do.
I'm going to re-edit it again tonight, and I'm going to fucking pray. I'm just going to start nuking it and taking whole scenes out, and that'll
I plan to cut this, John, and put this out maybe about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Hopefully it'll be out.
And hopefully, guys, in a few hours' time, you will be watching, obviously, episode 3 of Pictures.
I will do my absolute best.
What was it called again?
The jury room.
Jury room, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that's how I was sounding.
Jura! No, that's the way I've been. I've been quite coherent tonight, actually.
Yeah.
But in recent time, I don't know how the mics are though.
I think when we don't do live for a little while, we do kind of.
I've not done it for a long time.
Yeah, you have to get back into it. I think it was 2 weeks ago, John, we last did it.
No, I staying it.
Because we didn't do it last week because we knew that we were just trying to rattle into the episodes.
I'm primed all the time. I can just go right into it.
Yeah, that happened.
Welcome in on.
And it just let's talk about Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. I've never seen Gone with the Wind. Can I just stress, I have never watched Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
There was a huge news topic came out, a furore over Gone with the Wind that went on to Disney Plus. It had some aged, shall we say, societal takes on people of colour, and they had to put a disclaimer at the start of the movie. I, in my infinite wisdom, decided I was going to headline a show about this,
a solo show,
a solo show no less, and speak about Gone with the Wind, its merits, how what the movie entailed. I watched clips on YouTube and I spoke about it because I just can't miss out on that topic. I have to speak about it.
You got the gist of what they were trying to achieve, you know. And
I mean, it was God, what's it called again? The South. There was a name for that pre the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, over civil obviously rights and slaves and stuff. The abolition of slavery. What was it called? Wasn't Tippedine? That's a fucking Australasian person. I can't remember. That's annoying me. But it was based in that period before the Civil War and obviously the abolition of slavery. And by the very nature, that's a dodgy time for people who were being brought into the country, immigrants, people of minority groups. And obviously the people, the white folks who were on plantations and stuff like that, had certain views, and I don't think the actors and the filmmakers involved in that movie were deliberately being offensive. I think they were just trying to portray a faithful story from that time period.
Yeah,
I can't think of what the fuck that's called. South, US, before Civil War. What was it called? The antebellum South. Because there was a movie came out, wasn't there, with your fucking great actress, I forget her name. It was called Antebellum. I think it was a horror movie where she was on a plantation and she get whisked into the future or something. There was like time slips happening. Never did watch that. I'll need to watch that movie. But yeah, man.
So was this the guy that was the king then? Scott Buxton? Was he the... not the king, was it...
he was the main British guy.
The main British guy, yeah. So he died, right?
That's fucking shocking, man. Actually shocking.
58.
He's not young. Oh, he's not old, sorry. He's still quite young.
Yeah.
58's no age to be passing away, man.
No.
Simply crazy. In this day and age when people are getting into their 80s and 90s. But then you're seeing a lot of people dying just now, and it's really fucking weird.
Yeah.
A lot of people dying before their time, and I'm not entirely sure why, but they are. I suppose it's always happened, hasn't it? People just die. That's it, sadly. Got to take every day as it comes. Take it as a blessing, because it's not given.
Yeah.
And on that note, we're going to round the show up.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the Star Wars opening crawl returning to all future Star Wars movies? Are you excited for it? Are you excited for the future of Star Wars in general? Has Kathleen Kennedy finally been hit on the head with a metaphorical hammer, unlike Liam Gallagher, who was literally hit on the head with a hammer and found music, and realised now that the spacing between Star Wars movies has to be different to other franchises? Is she finally grasping it as she's getting ready to go out the exit door? Will Star Wars truly become a great franchise again in the future? Is the opening crawl a part of that? Share your thoughts down below about the opening crawl, about Star Wars, movies, anything at all can go down below in the comment section. Share your thoughts on the whole issue with editing episode 3, the jury room of pictures. Share your thoughts on perhaps the passing of Ray Stevenson, which Biffa, the Hobbits, came in and broke to us. Man was in Triple R. Played a bastard in it, but that's a sign of good acting. Because it's much like Kevin Bacon and other actors who have played bastards before. They are not bastards, they're just fabulous actors portraying bastards. Just thought I'd try and get as many bastards in to the one section there as possible, much like Taika Waititi did with Heil Hitler's and Jojo Rabbit. Steve Merchant broke a record. Share your thoughts down below about anything in the comment section. That's the place to put it. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get notifications straight to your eyeballs. Do the same thing over on Twitch, follow button, notifications button over there. All that's left to be said is thank you for watching us, and until the next time, me and Stephen are done. I am trying to find the end screen outro. Bye bye I now have to mute it manually.